Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today we're going to be covering the October 2021 developer update. So this is another really exciting update covering everything about alpha version 0.04, which has already launched. It launched on Halloween at midnight. How spooky. And in the spirit, they shared some artwork of Alice and Nina, which I talked about a little bit in my Halloween special. I'll link that in the description if you want to check it out. So first up, they actually introduced bug catching. They're releasing an early work in progress bug catching system. Eventually, we will donate bugs and unlock an area for them at the museum, which is not yet ready for alpha. But in the meantime, we can purchase a bug net at the beach shack and start catching. And just a note that the bug models are placeholders and not final assets. So first we get a glimpse of our player sneaking up on what looks like some sort of butterfly and swiping them with the net. So one exciting thing to note is that there are different types of bugs depending on the time of day, location, and seasons. So this is something I really like in a game. I like to have to sort of keep track of what season it is to find a certain type of bug. I like when certain bugs come out in the morning versus at nighttime. And then as well, being able to find different bugs on different spots around the island. I think that's really awesome and makes it a bit more involved and intricate to try and collect them all. And they gave us a look at another bug, which is a caterpillar, to show that some bugs are a lot slower. So if you're not great at sneaking up on bugs, don't worry. There's some slower ones you can catch as well. This guy looks so cute. And last up for the bug catching, they wanted to highlight that some bugs are actually very fast and perceptive of human movement, so you'll definitely have to sneak to catch them. And they also wanted to just thank everyone who backed, because the Kickstarter campaign is actually what made bug catching a reality for this game. It was one of the stretch goals, and it was actually one of the first stretch goals that they unlocked on the Kickstarter, so that's pretty cool. So next up in this update is actually a player house upgrade, and in this upgrade we will receive a kitchen that allows us to cook various dishes. It says we'll need to pay a visit to the carpenters, which is where Joko, Dinda, Archie, and Surya live, and they'll be able to help us with upgrading our house. We can see that it's expanded on the side here. It looks really nice. And then this is a look at the inside of the house, so we can see what used to be basically the entirety of our house over here, and now we have this entire living area space as well as a kitchen. We're gonna just have a built-in kitchen from the moment we upgrade. I do wonder if anything will be customizable, or if this part is basically set in stone and we'll all have more or less the same kitchen. So I'm definitely curious about that, because I do like to have a lot of customizability in the games I play, but you know, even if we could just change like the color of the fridge or the color of the counter or something. But it does look like we'll actually have quite a lot of space in the living area to decorate and customize. So I'm definitely excited about that. And we'll talk a bit more about this kitchen pretty soon, because next they introduced Coral Shopping. Basically, you can check out a channel on your TV to find out what's for sale. Then you go to Socket and Pan to make a purchase, and new items are available for purchase every Tuesday. So I guess they rebranded Socket Electronics to Socket and Pan. So it looks like anything that we purchase at Socket and Pan will be automatically installed into our kitchen, which is really interesting. And again, I wonder if there'll be any variations, like if you can move things around once they're in the kitchen, or if you can kind of choose where they'll go, or if it's literally the same exact kitchen with the same items for everyone. In this update, they introduced us to cooking. So there are actually two ways to cook in the game. The first is by using a recipe, and the second is considered manual cooking. So if you've learned a recipe already, you can just click on it in the recipe tab and complete it in that way, or you can just mix and match whatever you want just to see what happens. Maybe there'll be some things you can make that aren't actually coded into like a recipe in the game. There's sort of like secret items that you can just discover. Or maybe in dialogue with an NPC, someone might say like, oh, I combined like tofu and mint together the other day with my tomatoes and it made this delicious meal, and then you can go home and try it or something. And so it looks like we're gonna be essentially collecting all sorts of utensils to cook with. So there's around 10 to collect. They highlight the blender and the grill, but we can see like a lot of other utensils in this image. There's a knife block. This looks like a rice cooker or something. This looks like a toaster. I'm not sure if these are utensils up here or just decorations that we can add to the shelving, but it looks pretty involved, and the kitchen looks like it's pretty well equipped with lots of tools for us to use. So here's a look at the recipes tab, which are the easiest to cook. So it looks like we got some edamame, the vegan tacos, some sort of soup or stew. We've got some hard-boiled eggs. Looks like some sort of fruit basket. I'm not sure what this is. is. If anyone knows, let me know. This looks like some sort of sandwich, maybe a pumpkin pie back here. Yum. These look like some sort of breaded something, deep fried something. Again, not sure. We've got a croissant and then we've got some nigiri. That looks really good. So it kind of gives us an idea of what the process looks like. It has the name of the recipe. It has the utensils that you need. So for the vegan tacos, you need a skillet and a seasoning set. And then it shows the ingredients that you need. So you need a tortilla. And then I'm assuming you just need one of these because this is in red as if we're missing it. Peep the avocados. Got some coffee beans, a new flour. It looks like an orange, some greens, some root veggies. I'm really excited to get into the cooking UI, and especially with the types of foods they have, like lots of my favorites, and probably just learn about some new foods that I've never heard of before or never tried in real life. To be honest, I don't know if I'll do much manual cooking because the idea of it kind of stresses me out, but I'm sure it could be super fun. It says it's for the adventurous. Maybe I'm not adventurous enough. You can mix and match utensils and ingredients and unlock recipes yourself through trial and error. And so this is just placeholder art up here. This person has a frying pan, a seasoning set, a pot, an oven, and a skillet in their collection. So say they select a frying pan and then they stick a shrimp and what looks like could be like tofu or tempeh together in the frying pan, and you just basically see what happens. So that's kind of fun. Then you click cook down here. I wonder if you'll just get like burnt food or like slop or something if you combine some things that don't work together. And I have to say I love this art on the UI up here. And so if you're playing the alpha, only the recipe section will be available in this update, so it doesn't look like we'll be doing manual cooking, which makes sense because I feel like that would be a lot to program. And so next up, we're going to take a look at even more revamped buildings. So this month, they're showcasing Socket and Pan, the salon, the community center, and Jim's house. So the first exteriors are of Socket and Pan and the hair salon. So I love this added greenery on the outside. This is beautiful. I definitely love how cute and chic these two spots look. I love the aesthetic. They definitely look like shops I'd want to go into in real life. The next exterior is Jim's house. This is where Jim, Lily, and Theo all live. So this roof is very reminiscent of our player house roof in terms of the color and material, but then the shape of a lot of the other buildings we've seen where it has that curvature to it. I like how the front of the house has this almost like ship wheel kind of design because Jim is a retired fisherman and Theo is a fisherman himself, so it's very fitting. And then we also have a ton of bonsai trees all over the yard, just bonsais everywhere, which if you weren't aware, Lily is obsessed with bonsais. She has a sweatshirt that says bonsai hacker. They're like one of her favorite things ever, is just taking care of her bonsai trees. So it looks like you could probably stop by here at different times in the day and just find her tending to her bonsai trees. It looks like we can see like a river in the background too, and it looks like it rained recently or is raining because you can see like water reflections kind of on some of the assets. It looks so nice. And so next up are some interiors. Does anyone else remember the video I recently did about pets where I mentioned that having an animal shelter on Coral Island would be really nice? Yeah, well, here we are with an animal shelter found in the community center, and this is where you'll go to adopt a pet. Do you see this? This is so cute. This is so exciting. It looks like there's a little playground almost in the middle for the animals. There's a little carrot here. Presumably for the bunnies. Here's a little cat toy. We've got a cute little mat at the shop counter here. So this is, I'm assuming, where you actually go to, interact with the UI. We've got a bunch of little kennels on the side. And then this looks like a reptile tank of sorts. So this is so cool. This is so exciting. I'm so excited about this. And so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to just adopt our first pet here now instead of selecting it in the character customization and then having our very first friend gift it to us, which was the initial plan. So I'm not sure if that whole thing is still happening or if we're just going to enter the game and then we can adopt a pet whenever we sort of want to. It looks like we can get a glimpse of the library in the background here because these look like books, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of neat. And then this over to the left almost just looks like an entrance or a little hangout area or something. You can spot a piano back here too, which is pretty cool. And so a note about the community center is that it actually has 5 rooms inside it. It has a yoga room, which I am so excited about because I love yoga. I mean, it makes sense. Leah teaches yoga at the community center, so there's like a full-on room for yoga. That's so cool. I'm a big supporter of this feature for sure. There's also a clothing store called White Flamingo, which is the coolest name ever and definitely makes me want to shop there for clothes. It sounds super nice and I can't wait to see it. Clothing store confirmed, everyone. We've been speculating on this for a while, whether or not we'd be able to buy clothes, if so where, how, from who, and it's confirmed. We've got a clothing store at the community center, so I'm beyond excited for this. The community center also has the town hall, the library, and the animal shelter. They're not showing any more because of spoilers, which makes perfect sense. Just knowing all of these features is a lot already, so I'm excited to see this animal shelter and I can't wait to see the rest eventually. See, we knew there had to be something more in the community center, hey? Like as soon as we saw how big it was on the map of Starlet Town, we're all like, yeah, there's gotta be something going on in that community center that's more than just the town hall and the library. So now we know, life is good. We also get to take an updated look at the interior of the salon, which is run by Erica and Emily. I am honestly in love with this. We can compare it to the older version that we saw in the trailer, which I also thought looked great, but this new and improved version is just amazing. I don't know if I'm biased because it fits my aesthetic so well. Like I love the blush pinks, I love the greenery, the fountain at the entrance, the shape of the sofa. I just love all of this. It looks so good. I would definitely want to get my hair done here for sure, for sure. Yeah, this is beautiful. Next, we get another look at the interior of Socket and Pan, which is Luke's store. It's very mod. Again, we've got the curves. We got, looks like quite a large selection. I wonder if we can actually buy these back here. They look like arcade machines or something. We've got all sorts of utensils and supplies for our kitchen. Looks like maybe we can get some pictures in here to hang in our place. There's supposedly new stock every Tuesday. I'm wondering if everything rotates or like the center portion rotates every Tuesday and the rest of the items kind of stick around. I'm not sure. So definitely looking forward to checking this out and seeing what sort of cool items we can buy for our house here. We'll definitely have to take a closer look at this photo in detail and see what we can spot. But overall, I definitely love the clean aesthetic of this place. I'm not 100% sure on the name. We'll have to get used to it. I honestly feel like the store could just be called Luke's, although that makes me think of Gilmore Girls, so maybe not. Actually, I take that back. Socket and Pan it is. And so they've also added more cutscenes and dialogue, which is really exciting. So they've reformatted and edited dialogue for Emma, Frank Jr., Jack, Kira, Lily, and Ling. They've also added a bunch of new heart cutscenes, so definitely reference this photo if you're an alpha player and you're trying to progress through the different heart events. But we've had cutscenes added for Alice, Archie, Erica, Joko, Leah, Millie, lots for Noah. My goodness, Noah fans, rejoice. You've got lots to work with here. Scott, Theo, Valentina, and Yuri. So that is super exciting. They've also noted some other updates. They've added a work in progress town rank system. Check it out at the community center. So I did kind of speculate about this a little bit in my video on the map of Starlet Town, because we could see that there was a town ranking in the bottom left corner of the UI. So that'll be interesting to kind of delve a bit further into that. They're experimenting with additional simplified daytime music. They're also experimenting with cloud shadows in the game. That's great for extra realism and making the environments more dynamic. Now a player objective will be displayed in the diving UI level selector. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but I imagine if we have various quests or objectives when we're diving, it'll actually now show exactly what we're supposed to be doing when we select where we want to go diving on the diving map. That's kind of my understanding of it, just to maybe make things a bit clearer or remind us where we're at in the diving process, so that'll be very helpful. They've also completed 2 other exteriors that were not shown here. The first being the mansion, and that's where Ling, Randy, and Leah live. And the other one is the clinic, which is where Yuri and Charles work. So definitely excited to see those. Excitingly, they've also unlocked the lookout area, which I believe is where the lighthouse is, which will now be accessible to alpha players. That's very exciting. I have no idea what to expect in that area, so I'm definitely gonna go check it out. And then they've also added a work in progress glossary section to the main UI. Isn't a glossary like a list of terminology? And so what's next? Next month for alpha version 0.05, they have a lot planned. That's very exciting to hear. They're actually going to open up the woodlands area. I cannot wait to explore more of the map. That is so exciting. They're also going to unlock farm building upgrades for the barn and the coop, as well as the greenhouse. Shout out to everyone who was talking about greenhouses in the comments of my Starlet Town map video. You guys knew this was coming, hey? I'm very impressed. Well done, well done. The first version of the town rank system that ties the game together will be introduced. There'll be a new Q&A dialogue system with NPCs. That's so exciting. So you can actually unlock questions and topics to discuss with an NPC as you get closer with them. I'm assuming that'll include like more of the dynamic dialogue where you can pick what you say in response. There'll also be more revamped building exteriors and interiors and much more. So this was yet another very exciting update. I can't wait to dive into playing it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. If you are playing the alpha, which new feature are you most excited to try out? If you're not playing the alpha, what are you most impressed about, most curious about, most excited for? And now it's time for your top comments. So these comments were left on my last video, which was the spooky Halloween Coral Island special. AJ, none of your biz, said, I personally would love the opportunity to acquire some sort of spooky costume or at least holiday appropriate clothing. And maybe there's some sort of seasonal Indonesian legends or folklore we could learn about. That would inform my choice of costume for my farmer. I would also love to be able to decorate my farmer's house. I love the idea of food recipes we can acquire around each holiday, not just Halloween. So a big thing that I emphasized in my video was how much I would love to see costumes, whether that be in the game, as a DLC, or as a mod. I would love to learn about some spooky Indonesian legends or folklore. I think that'd be so fun and so interesting. We will be able to decorate our farmer's house. I'm assuming this is commenting specifically on like Halloween sort of decor or seasonal decor. That's to be determined for sure. And now that we've seen a little bit of cooking, I'm extra excited about the prospect of different recipes. We did catch a glimpse of that pumpkin pie, so that means there's at least one fall-based sort of food item. And I agree, like having some winter recipes, some spring foods, some summer foods, maybe like popsicles or something like that would be really cool. The letter M said, I'll take any opportunity I get to make my house the gothic castle of my dreams. But seriously, seasonal decorating would be great for keeping things fresh, especially in late game. The longer you play, the more festive your island could look for your favorite holidays. And I absolutely agree. And this is a really good point that maybe we're looking more in the long term of the game. So maybe initially when the game launches, it'll start off with the more basics, you know, like traditional furniture sets, kind of what you expect for a game. But then maybe, you know, as the game develops past early access into the full release and beyond, maybe more and more item sets can start to be added, including those seasonal items that definitely could make your farm and your house more and more festive according to your own personal preferences. But I do think that being able to decorate in a game can definitely help with longevity. And finally, Wickerman Harvest said it'd be cool if the NPCs talked about different urban myths and folk tales for Halloween, or even had a day referencing spirits from the graveyard walking around for the day. At the very least, have some dialogue from Raphael mentioning binging horror movies that day. And I'm so glad you commented this. I actually had to trim a few things out of my Halloween video because I thought it was getting too long. And one of the things I did cut out was specifically Raphael and his love for horror movies. I actually thought it'd be really cool if you would be able to unlock a special date with him or a friendship event with him just in the fall where you watch a horror movie together and there's a cute little cutscene. So as always, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Be sure to leave a comment down below on this video and maybe you'll be featured in my next. And before I leave you today, let's take a look at today's amazing fan art. Today we have this absolutely lovely drawing of Suki by James. I thought this was a perfect fit for today's video since we now know there is a yoga space in the community center, and in this illustration it looks like Suki is either warming up for a workout or to participate in one of Leah's yoga classes. I really love this art style and I think this is so well done. As always, I will link his information in the description of this video, and thank you so much, James, for sharing your amazing art with us. Well, there you have it, friends. That was the developer update for October 2021. Let me know what you all thought about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.